It's challenging for our laws and policies to keep up with the pace of innovation. We can start by paying more attention, but we already pay a lot of attention to technology. It makes our lives more convenient, it makes us more connected, it's fun, it makes us productive. But to pay real attention, we need to start to observe, and we start with ourselves. We pay attention to what tech we're using, how we're using it, what changes we've seen in ourselves, and then we move on to our immediate circle. What are tech's benefits? What are its negative impacts that we see in other people? And then we can move to the companies. How are they using our data? Are they aligned with our values? Who's making these tools? Especially when things are intended for a global market, it's really important to have team diversity. And then we can start to pay attention to a bigger picture. How is society using technology? If we take just algorithmic decision-making tools, for example, they're used in absolutely everything, and there's not a lot of accountability or transparency, and they're often wrong. They're used when we apply for jobs. They decide who gets to see our resumes. They decide who gets to get a loan, who gets into a school. They're used in law enforcement. They determine what neighborhoods to police. They're used in criminal justice, determining who gets parole. And then when we bring our full attention to this, I think it's really impossible not to be concerned with how AI systems are being integrated into our lives when we have just begun to study their societal impacts. AI in society is a rapidly growing field. There are many incredible people and institutions working on core problems: fairness, transparency, accountability, governance, the future of work, etc. It's vital for this field to be interdisciplinary, and including a larger variety of people and increasing the dialogue between them is a primary aim of Icarus Salon. To just do a metaphor, in the parable of the blind man and the elephant, we have lots of people coming together with different opinions. A blind man touches a trunk and he thinks that the elephant is a trunk like creature, so forth. But even though no one's really wrong, they're all limited in their perception. So if we only have researchers and scientists working on these problems, we're only going to be working on a leg. And if we only have government and policymakers or academia working on this, then we're only going to really reveal like a tail and part of a torso. And AI impacts everyone, and everyone needs to be at the table to solve it. What's missing when we're looking at this great big elephant is greater communication and collaboration between everyone, feeling out the different areas. And then also we need a full 360 degrees of a variety of people around this elephant. We need more artists, we need more students, we need employees from every type of job, we need more social scientists, we need everybody. Science, tech, and art have been in the symbiotic relationship since the very beginning. As soon as we had technology to farm, we were able to stop foraging, and then we started creating culture, which in turn enabled us to discover more technology and create more culture and learn more about the world and have more science and more innovation. And then we're not just surviving, but we're creating a surplus, and then we have a very complex economic system. But the things that develop together are not really that far apart. They differ maybe in the language that we use, but in essence, they're all about human potential, curiosity, and transformation. Even the word technology comes from the Greek word techne, which is a word for craftsmanship and art. It's sort of like a philosophical vessel for the craft. And I think these lines are blurring more now that the pace of technology has increased and these things are getting closer together. It's vital to society to have greater cooperation between art, science, and technology. There are a lot of artists who use technology and science in their work. It's both a tool and it's a topic of exploration. Likewise, many scientists and technologists are pushing the limits of what can be done creatively. At Pier 9, we saw creators who did not even want to be called artists, and we saw researchers who just discovered that maybe their work could be considered art. These places of research and innovation and businesses really need artists embedded in the process. I loved the old residency Bell Labs did. They used to bring in artists like Rauschenberg, and they're still doing that. They still have artists working with researchers. We've also seen other corporate fellowship and residency centers at Google and Adobe, in addition to Autodesk. And we've also seen private institutions who fund collaborative experiments between artists and scientists. These fellowships are successful for what their intention is, which is increasing creativity or pushing possibilities and maybe getting some new insights. But I don't think that even that is enough. I would really like to see teams at every innovation center go a little bit further and have truly interconnected artists and scientist teams that integrate their ideas and don't just borrow concepts. I am so excited to see this year's applications. I love the funky intersections between genres and research that no one's ever thought of before. And in my experience, creators already find it difficult to talk about their own work, and hybrid projects are especially difficult to verbalize. You kind of need to invent your own language for something that's never been done before, especially if it's on the edges and fringes of what research and art fields have historically looked like. It's also hard to talk about what you do when it's part of an evolution or part of a process. So, believe in your work. Often it speaks for itself. But if you are stuck, then ask people who are familiar with what you do for feedback and how to improve your documentation. And I wish you the very, very, very best of luck.